Hi guys, Radu here, and welcome to video 1 out of 3. I'm releasing an amazing 3 videos series describing the core elements of a successful online business. In this first video, I will unveil in detail the process that I use for all my successful online businesses. This is the simplified view of the process. Just to quickly run through it, first you need to select a niche, then lay the technical infrastructure of your blog. Afterwards, you need to build actually your blog, then publish quality content on it, then finally market and monetize your blog. Nothing extraordinary until here, right? Then I will show you two different marketing and monetizing paths that you can take: the accelerated path and the organic path. The first step is to select your niche. I've learned it the hard way, but I found out that if you address a niche instead of general public, you are way closer to success. It's way easier to pick up your niche desires or fears, and it's also much easier to fire your marketing campaign towards a niche rather than a mass audience. What I advise you to do is to start thinking of a niche that you could activate in. Choose a niche that is close to your heart and remember to narrow your niche. So let's say you are into photography. Photography is quite a broad niche. I would rather go one step further to, for example, landscape photography. But please keep a common sense here. It's recommended that you do not narrow your niche way too much, like for example, I don't know, communist leaders pink stamps or something like this. That's way too extreme in my opinion because you will hardly find people to target. Also, try to estimate if the people in your niche have money. They don't need to be filthy rich or something like that, but same time they should be able to afford to buy an online product that you will intend to sell at a later stage. Next, you should lay the technical infrastructure. After you've defined your niche, you should start laying the infrastructure for your website. For the infrastructure part, you need to get a domain name and a hosting service. It's super easy to do that. No technical background required. You can get your domain name from GoDaddy.com and your hosting service from HostGator.com. There are lots of options out there. You can select which ones you like, but these two are the ones I normally use. The domain name is practically the address where you will point your users to. For example, theresignee.com. That's the domain name. Pick one that you like and it's representative for your selected niche. The hosting service is basically the online space that you will use to store your files that will form your blog. Once you have all this in place, in the next step of the process, you will need to build your selling vehicle, which will be simply a blog. You can do that to premium services like Shopify or something like that, but I have a better alternative. Shopify or similar are costly and do not offer much customization possibilities. What I advise you to do is to build your blog in WordPress. It's absolutely free, fully customizable, and damn easy to use. You don't need any technical skills, even my grandma can use it. Now, I won't insist in this particular video on the blog setup process because I dedicated a full video for it later. I'll show you there exactly what you need to do. Once you will have the blog up and running, you need to populate it with quality content. By content, I mean text, but also pictures, audio, and video. But first, let's see what makes a post great. What defines an article that attracts? First, the headline is of capital importance. Without a catchy headline, readers will flee away instantly. A headline must be intriguing. It has to relate with the rest of the article, and ideally it has to be short. I will just say some examples of good headlines. How to cook the perfect beef steak. Another one would be something like 5 steps in achieving landscape photography proficiency. And another one could sound something like top 5 vintage BMW convertibles that you can't buy. Moving further to the body of the article, it must contain an attention grabber. It can be a story or a smart quote. Then, frequent attention reset points like pictures, quotes, bullet points, and so on. You need attention reset points, otherwise your readers will either go away or start scanning your article and probably miss the important stuff. In the end of a good article, you will need to include a call to action. In the call to action, you tell people what you want them to do. Buy your product, give their email address, share your post on Facebook. Guess what? If you ask people to do something, yeah, they will usually do it. And now here comes a really good part. Listen up. Let's say you suck at writing. Well, there's still hope. In fact, I found out that a lot of blogs out there use this technique. What you can do is to outsource the writing part to a freelancer. For a small fee, you can find professional writers specialized in your niche on platforms such as this one, such as Upwork. For example, I had a business in the dog nutrition industry and I needed a damn good traction article. So what I did, I went on Upwork and posted my job request there. It was something like I'm looking for a native English speaker with writing skills and experience on pet nutrition. I would prefer candidates with veterinary or pet nutrition background or something like that. I received lots of proposals and picked the one that suited my need and budget best. And boom, your problem is solved. Amazing, isn't it? Of course, you will not pay freelancers to write articles for you without something popping up at the horizon. That's why next we will talk about marketing and monetizing techniques. After you populate your blog, you may start to think that you actually want to make money with it. For that, you need to market and monetize your blog. There are two paths that I want to show you to reach your financial goals. A fast lane, which I call the accelerated path, and the slower, healthy one called the organic marketing and monetizing path. Now that I brought up monetizing, let me show you the calculation behind realizing sales of $180,000 per year. 100K per year calculates back to 15K per month. Let's say you have a business in the landscape photography niche and you sell on your blog $50 tripods. That means that you need to sell roughly 300 tripods in order to reach your target of 15K a month. Well, 300 tripods a month sounds a lot, no? But going further, that only means 10 tripods per day. Well, that doesn't seem that extreme anymore, does it? A good qualified visitor to buyer conversion rate is 8%. That means you need to attract 125 qualified visitors per day to your blog in order to reach your sales target of 10 tripods a day. To remind you, 10 tripods a day means $15,000 a month and $180,000 a year. Now, that doesn't look impossible to achieve, does it? I'll tell you from experience, it's definitely not a walk in the park, but once you master the marketing and monetizing techniques, trust me, it's achievable. What if I tell you that you can achieve much more than this by using a different selling technique? I've dedicated the next video to explaining the accelerated and organic marketing and monetizing paths. I will take both paths and break them down to pieces so you get a good overview on what you need to do. I'll explain you the full sales stream of the accelerated path. I will run through the email list building sequence and finish up with the exciting selling sequence. Then I will guide you through the organic path, where I will first show you all the marketing techniques for growing a healthy followers base. Then I will show you the 3 organic monetizing techniques that you can use. Now, that's for sure a video that you don't want to miss. chat to you soon.